I'm 82 years old, and it took me nearly my whole life to understand what real connection feels like. Not love, not romance, connection, and I almost missed it entirely. I'm sitting in the same armchair I've had since 1994. The fabric is worn thin on the right side, where my hand always rests. Outside my window, the same oak tree still sways like it always has, but everything else has changed. I used to believe connection was loud, dramatic, grand gestures. Now I know better. Now I see the signs clearly, and I wish I had seen them sooner, before I knew what I was missing. When I was younger, I thought I was strong because I didn't need anyone. I was born in 1943 in a little house in Scranton, Pennsylvania. My mother ironed clothes for neighbors. My father worked nights at the mill. They loved each other in quiet ways, shared coffee, folded laundry side by side, sitting without speaking. I didn't understand that kind of love. To me, love had to be loud to be real. I married my first husband, Robert, when I was 22. He brought me roses every Friday, wrote notes, held my hand everywhere we went. People said we were lucky. But after the excitement faded, I felt restless. If he didn't speak, I assumed he was bored of me. If he didn't touch my hand, I assumed he was drifting away. I needed constant proof, constant reassurance. I thought that was connection. I was wrong. I left him after 7 years. I told myself I needed freedom. What I really needed was understanding. After that, I became independent. That's what people called me. I worked in a dental office, bought my own car, lived alone, traveled, and I wore my independence like armor. I told people I don't need anyone. But at night, I talked to the radio. I talked to the walls. I told myself that wanting closeness made me weak, so I buried that part of me. The moment I almost missed it, I was 57 when I met Eleanor. It was 2000. I remember because everyone was afraid of computers crashing. She moved into the apartment next to mine. She was a retired librarian, always wore cardigans, always smelled faintly of lavender. The first time we spoke was in the hallway. She dropped her groceries. I bent down to help her. She said, "You don't have to." I said, "I know." And I helped anyway. She smiled. That smile lingered with me. A week later, she knocked on my door. She said, "I made too much soup." Not, "Do you want some?" Just, "I made too much." I invited her in. She looked around my apartment slowly. Not nosy, just curious. She said, "You keep your place very tidy." I said, "I like control." She laughed softly. We sat at my small kitchen table, the one with the wobbling leg. She didn't fill the silence. She let it breathe. That made me uncomfortable. So I talked and talked and talked. She listened, not politely, actually listened. She remembered things, asked about them later. One day I mentioned I liked tulips. 2 months later, she brought me one from the market. She didn't make a big deal of it. She just placed it in a glass of water and said, "It reminded me of you." That confused me, because I hadn't done anything to earn it. And yet, there it was. Connection doesn't announce itself. It arrives quietly. And I almost didn't recognize it. When I finally understood, Eleanor and I became something. Not lovers, not sisters, not best friends. Something deeper. She didn't need me to perform. She didn't need constant excitement. She just liked being near me. She'd sit while I folded laundry. I'd read while she knitted. Sometimes we didn't speak for hours. And somehow I felt more seen than I ever had in my life. But I didn't understand why. I thought connection was intensity, fireworks, passion, drama. So when Eleanor got quieter, slower, softer, I worried. I asked her once, "Are you bored of me?" She looked at me like I'd asked something heartbreaking. She said, "No, Margaret, I'm comfortable with you. That word, comfortable, I thought it meant dull. Now I know it meant safe. I didn't value it then. In 2007, Eleanor had a stroke. I found her on her kitchen floor. She survived, but she wasn't the same. She needed help, and for the first time, I was afraid, because I didn't know how to be needed. I didn't know how to stay. I told myself I was too old for caregiving. I told myself I deserved peace. I helped arrange a care facility. I visited at first, then less, then rarely. I told myself she understood. But when I finally visited her again, 3 years later, she was thinner. Her hair was shorter. Her eyes still recognized me. She said, "You came back." Not, "I missed you." Not, "Why did you leave?" Just, "You came back." That sentence lives inside me. She died 6 months later. I held her hand. It felt small, fragile. I realized something too late. Real connection doesn't demand. It notices, it remembers, it stays, and I had mistaken it for nothing. What I see now, I live alone again, but I don't live closed. I talk to the cashier, I ask my neighbor about her day, I send handwritten cards, I let people help me, and here's what I've learned. When an older woman feels connected, she doesn't need constant attention. She needs presence. She'll remember small details about you, your favorite drink, your dog's name, the way you take your coffee. She'll listen without interrupting. She'll sit beside you without needing to fill the silence. She'll notice when you're tired, even if you don't say it. She'll offer something simple, soup, a story, a blanket. She won't demand your time, but she will cherish it. Connection isn't loud, it's steady. It's showing up without announcing yourself. It's remembering without being asked. It's staying even when it's inconvenient. I thought connection was something you chased. I was wrong. It's something you allow. And I spent too many years keeping it out. If you're still young enough to walk away, to ignore the quiet people, to dismiss the gentle ones, please don't. The loud world will lie to you. But the quiet ones, they're the real thing. If this story made you feel something, hold on to that, and maybe come back again sometime. We're all learning, even at 82.